people seem to lose their ability to question anything. You know, it was amazing to see people would just kind of fall in line with the narrative. And I saw it in churches. I saw it everywhere I went. They would just, they lose their critical thinking skills. And they're like, well, the government must have my best interest at heart. They must. I'm just going to trust that they know what they're doing. Maybe it's just I belong to Jesus, but I don't put my trust in any government. I put my trust in Jesus. Because what I've learned more than anything is all governments, which are designed to control the people, they don't have our best interest ever. You have to understand that. It takes a while to learn that. They don't have our best interests in any way. But many people think they're just trying to take care of us. Oh, they're trying to take care of you, all right. And you know, the sad thing is, and this is what else I learned in the last 3 years, the churches, for the most part, not all of them, most of them are just missing in action. They're just fluffing it up. You know, how do I make you feel good? Come on in. God loves you. Do you feel better? Go home. Have a great week and come back next week. Bring your checkbook. You know, the churches are gone. You know, and I think also if the churches stood up for what was biblical, really stood up, I'm talking all the churches, if we all stood up for what was biblical, the world wouldn't be where it is today, and we're in the end days. So this is kind of predicted, prophesied, and we're here now. We're in the last days, and we're just going to lift each other up, and we're going to encourage each other, and we're going to wait for our blessed hope, the return of Jesus to rapture the church, which is going to happen.
I am the chosen one.
Pure energy. Pure energy.
So somebody had to do it.
I am the chosen one.
I am the chosen one. Nobody's done a job like I've done, but I'm wonderful for the USA. I am the chosen one.
For the record, I just want to be clear that when I'm calling out Trump and the fact that I don't trust him and he says these crazy, insane things, in no way, shape, or form am I suggesting that you go vote for someone on the other side, a Democrat. Any of them. I'm saying I've lost faith in the system. If I was going to vote for anyone, I would vote conservative. But I don't trust any of them. And what I'm saying is, think before you vote. Maybe it really doesn't matter. That's just my position. It's your call, and no hard feelings either way. But no, I'm not saying go vote for Kamala or anyone else. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you very much. We have the congressional leaders here with us today, and we have a lot to discuss, including the fact that there's a new and seems to be record-breaking hurricane heading right toward Florida and Puerto Rico and other places. We'll see what happens. We'll know in a very short period of time, but it looks like it could be something that will be not good. Believe me, not good. We have many, many things that are on the plate. Hopefully we can solve them in a rational way, and maybe we won't be able to. We'll probably know pretty much at the end of this meeting or the meetings that we'll be having over a short period of time. But our country has a lot of great assets, and we have some liabilities that we have to work out. So we'll see if we can do that. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nancy, Chuck. Appreciate it very much. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, are you willing to do a debt ceiling that's connected with Harvey funding for 3 months?
Thanks,
Democrats
guys.
have proposed?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
second thoughts.
President Captain, Congress could do something for DACA recipients.
I hope they do. I certainly hope they do.
What do you mean exactly by revision?
And then we've got the Al Smith Charity Dinner, the annual Al Smith Charity Dinner, where both parties get together and they rub elbows and they laugh and they roast each other and they just have a good old time. And there's something about this event that has always disgusted me. I've always seen right through it and seen that these people are really good friends at the bottom of it. But many a truth is said in jest. And Jim Gaffigan is reading off a teleprompter, and just listen to the truths that he has to say and the responses and how funny all of it is. Just check this out.
Good evening, rich people. I gotta be honest, I feel like I'm at a casting call for Daddy Warbucks, and I'm not gonna get the job. Welcome, Your Eminence, President Trump, First Lady, random millionaires who are not yet billionaires. Welcome to the 79th annual Al Smith Memorial Dinner. As you can, please give it up. Yes. As you can see how we're dressed, the theme again is let them eat cake. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't address the elephant in the room. You know, you're all thinking about it. Let me just cut to the point and point out who's not here. And of course, I'm talking about the middle class. That filthy group of people. Right, Chuck? Do you know what I'm talking about? Can we have a round of applause for Chuck Schumer? Right? This is a special night, people. This is the one night when Republicans and Democrats who used to be Republican and Republicans who used to be Democrats and independents and whatever Michael Bloomberg is now. I love how the front row doesn't even look at me. Do you know what I mean? Like, do those seats cost more? We are 19 days until the election and likely a civil war. And, you know, I'm nervous, you know what I mean? It's like, this is my first Civil War, guys. I don't own a musket. Have we decided who's wearing blue and who's wearing gray? Because I look better in blue because of my eyes, you know? Full disclosure, Cardinal Dolan is also a friend of mine, and I would never put him on the spot, but Cardinal Dolan, I'm curious. The Pope did say that this election is a choice between the lesser of two evils. And so, two-part question. One, do you agree? And two, who's more evil? All right, I'll come back to you. Of course, Joe Biden was our second Catholic president, right? After JFK, President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that. That's... I guess I'm the only one that reads history. But this is a Catholic event. I'm Catholic. Any Catholics here? Yeah. They're yelling because it's hard to clap when you're holding a cocktail. Right? You know, this event has been referred to as the Catholic Met Gala. 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. You know what I think it is? I think she doesn't like me. And after we pressure Mike Bloomberg to give more money, we will break $10 million. $10 million. Everyone look at Michael Bloomberg and tell him he should give more money. $10 million is pretty impressive, you know what I mean? I mean, granted, it could get you a studio apartment in Manhattan, which seems, you know, expensive, especially considering you can get a mayor for 2 business class flights. Oh, did I break I didn't think we had borders anymore.
Just let that sink in. In a room full of America's most elite, wealthy billionaires and millionaires, the most they can come up with is $10 million. I would say a vast majority of those people could individually donate $10 million and it wouldn't affect them at all. What a joke.
You know, looking at this impressive dais of attendees up here, I never know how to address you people. Do you prefer, you know, global elite or coastal elite? You know, I mean, I know we live in sensitive times and I don't want to mislabel anyone. I'm personally excited to be up here, and not just because you make me look young and principled. You know, this seating arrangement is weird, right? I mean, it looks like the plutocrats are about to play Family Feud. And the survey says, whatever you want. This dais, actually, let's be honest, this entire room is filled with some of the most powerful people in New York City, and Brian Kilmeade. You know, because this room is, I'm glad you guys have a sense of humor about this, because this room is undeniably impressive. It really is. The prestige, the wealth, the allegations. I mean, wow. And don't feel bad if you don't have any allegations yet, okay? Which reminds me, Letitia James is here. She had a great year. She's just back there watching all of you. She's watching. I'd like to also welcome Mayor Adams, brought to you by Turkish Airlines. I was told to say that. It's a sponsorship deal, people. You know, we have a lot of formers on the dais tonight, all right? Former mayors, former governors, former respected journalists. Is there any other kind, really? Now, I understand some people may have an issue with a journalist appearing on a dais, hobnobbing with the rich and powerful. It would appear like a clear conflict of interest, and that's because it absolutely is. Look, the days of Walter Cronkite are gone. Most journalists have their own TikTok. Okay. Now, by the way, there are rumors that Mayor Bloomberg is planning to run for mayor. I don't know if that's true. Quick question, Mayor Bloomberg. When you buy an election, do you put it on a credit card so you can get the points? Because that's what I would do. Woody Johnson is here tonight, owner of the New York Jets, heir to the Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical fortune. You know, in divisive times, sir, you are a shining example, okay? If the head of Johnson & Johnson can sign an unvaxxed quarterback, maybe there is hope for this country, all right? We are 19 days from the election. This presidential election, it's been different, right? I mean, it's crazy because there's no Russian interference, no Facebook. It's crazy. It's being left up to American voters and 4 billionaires. The Cardinal wrote that joke. The media has begun discussing the phenomena of secret Trump voters. I don't know if you've heard about this. People who publicly say they would never vote for Trump, but then when they go in the voting booth, they do. It's a small group. They're called the Biden family. You know, we live in divided times, and whoever is elected in November, I hope they establish an initiative to heal the divide that exists in this country. And I have a great name for this. It could be called Project 2025. It has a nice, Chuck, do you like it? Okay. Our first presentation tonight will be by Vice President Kamala Harris, okay? You have to admit, the Democrats have done an amazing job rebranding Vice President Harris, right? The term joyful warrior was used so many times at the Democratic convention, I felt like I was at a yoga retreat. Let's start off in a joyful warrior pose and then go straight into downward facing Doug Emhoff. Good, now laugh uncontrollably. Remember to breathe. Vice President Harris's trajectory has been astounding. In just the course of a couple months, she went from mediocre vice president to everyone's mamala. This is, of course, a historic race for many reasons, right? If Vice President Harris wins this election, not only would she be the first female president, a black woman would occupy the White House, a former Trump resident. Obviously, you wouldn't be renting to her. You know, this has been an interesting presidential campaign. The Democrats have been telling us Trump's re-election is a threat to democracy. In fact, they were so concerned of this threat, they staged a coup, ousted their democratically elected incumbent, and installed Kamala Harris. In other words, all her dreams have come true. Really? It really makes you consider the power of prayer, right, Cardinal? Sometimes prayers take 3.5 years and a George Clooney op-ed. Yeah. Vice President Harris did have a scheduling conflict, but was generous enough to send us this video. Let's take a look.
Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith Dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Cool. Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Elliott. Mary Catherine Elliott. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate, hate, hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Madam
Good for you, Mary
They're ready.
Catherine.
Oh, yeah. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, 'cause Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah. And also, one last thing I want to tell you, don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Mamala.
Thank you. Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith Dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship and come together to do some good by supporting the tremendous charitable work of the Catholic Church.
You know, this is one of the cheesiest skits I've ever seen. It's like a bad high school production, a very bad production from SNL. And whoever wrote it needs to be fired. And the other thing is, this is what she's offering, being only the second candidate, presidential candidate ever to not attend this annual dinner. It's just a really bad attempt for them to connect. They missed the mark. And we all know why she's not there. She doesn't have an original thought. And not only that, she would completely embarrass herself and the Democratic Party if she showed up. And when she talks about the charitable work of the Catholic Church, watch her body language, because her body doesn't lie. It tells the truth. She actually shakes her head no. Pretty interesting.
The tremendous charitable work of the Catholic Church.
And come together to do some good by supporting the tremendous charitable work of the Catholic Church.
The Church cares for the sick and feeds the hungry, supports families with housing and education, and in times of disaster, provides not only essential supplies, but also, and so importantly, a sense of hope. The Gospel of Luke tells us.
Yep, she's quoting the Bible, and I'm sorry, gang, I had to leave it in here. But yeah, it kind of gets my blood boiling too.
The Gospel of Luke tells us that faith has the power to shine a light on those living in darkness and to guide our feet in the path of peace.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry, it is cringeworthy. But here comes another case where your mouth will say one thing, but your body just can't lie because you're not even aware that your body is telling the truth.
In the spirit of tonight's dinner, let us recommit to reaching across divides.
Reaching across divides.
Reaching across divides.
It doesn't matter what they say. She has no intentions on reaching across divides. Her body language does not lie.
Reaching across divides. Reaching across divides.
Yeah, that's all I can show. You'll have to go watch the full video somewhere and find it if you want to see the rest.
I don't know. As I watched that, I couldn't help but think of, now I know how my kids felt when I FaceTimed into a piano recital they were at. Anyway. Shortly, I will introduce President Trump, who will likely talk about how Vice President Harris's absence proves that she hates Catholics, Americans, and babies. Then CNN and MSNBC will say President Trump went too far, and Elon Musk and Fox News will say he was pitch perfect.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor. And they told me under no circumstances are you allowed to use a teleprompter. And I got up here and I see there's this beautiful teleprompter.
Yeah, again, isn't it just funny that under no circumstances can anybody use a teleprompter, except Jim Gaffigan, so he can stay on his narrative, stay on point, right? And then, of course, Kamala was reading off of a teleprompter, and badly at that, if I might say. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out, and I'm sure y'all caught it.
And as you may have seen, Kamala did an interview on Fox News yesterday. It went so poorly for her that the Democrats have been forced to install another 100 drop boxes throughout the city. A major issue in this race is childcare, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one.
That's nasty. I told these idiots that gave me this stuff, that's too tough.